jab. He fights in beautiful combinations as well, Daniel Jacobs.
I believe that he's going to come out, he's going to want to box, keep him at arm's length. It wouldn't
Green, officially weighing in at 160 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. 35 victories, including 29 knockouts with 2 defeats. And he's a 2-time world champion from Brooklyn, New York, USA, the reigning, defending IBF middleweight champion of the world, Daniel Miracle Man Jacob. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner with his trainers, Chepo and Eddie Reynoso, wearing white with gold, officially weighing in at 159.5 pounds. His professional record, 51 victories, including 35 knockouts. Only 1 defeat with 2 draws. He's a 3-division, 5-time world champion, the reigning, defending WBC, WBA, middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros, en Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Saul Canelo
Let's get everybody up.
Let's go, everybody out here.
Okay, gentlemen, caballeros, you already see instructions. Usted recibe instrucciones. Okay, right here is good, anything that's low. Aquí está bien, aquí no. Right here is good, that's low. Aquí está bien, aquí no. I want a good, clean fight. You quiero una pelea limpia. Obey my commands at all times, above all. Protect yourself at all times. Escúchame, cuídate, listos, ready, let's go.
The most magnetic matchup of 2019 in the classic and fabled middleweight division, following in the lines of Jack Dempsey, Kid McCoy, Stanley Ketchel, Harry Greb, Tiger Flowers, Graziano Zale, Ray Robinson, Carlos Monzon, Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins at ringside. So too Triple G for this latest installment in boxing, the unification of Canelo Alvarez's WBA Super and WBC titles with Daniel Jacobs' IBF belt. It's sizzling stuff. It's the elite level, the highest class. What gives, Carl?
What can give in such a high-octane fight? I'm not sure. It's far too early to make any rash predictions. Both standing off, taking their time. You just feel that Canelo is so cool and composed. He's got a job to do and he knows how to do it. Daniel Jacobs has had this air of invincibility about him this week. His confidence, he speaks so well and he believes in himself. If he can bring that into the ring and perform under these lights, then we're in for a real treat.
A mental and physical battle on the highest plane. How will the whips and wills unfold? The game plans. Jacobs will be looking to get behind that stiff jab, the longer reach of the physically much bigger man. He'll have a huge weight advantage in there tonight, but remember, Alvarez did fight up at super middleweight. He's a natural middle now, Canelo.
Look how solid he looks, walking forward, putting Jacobs on his back foot straight away. He just walks forward, puts that guard nice and tight when he needs to. He's able to just put the pressure on Jacobs, even this early on.
He's become much more versatile over the years, Canelo, since that sole defeat to Floyd Mayweather, which he learnt so much from, and he's very clever, excellent defensively, and he can whip in the body shots, which might pay dividend down the stretch, especially if Jacobs has been struggling to get down to middleweight, as 1 or 2 whispers have said this week.
Well, at 32, the weight just starts to, it sticks around, it's harder to shift, your metabolism slows, and Canelo is in that category, Jacobs is in that category, he's 32 years old, and the weight does hold, so hopefully that's not a disadvantage. We don't want to see that.
He whipped the body shots in that destruction of poor Rocky Fielding just before Christmas. who was game and brave but totally outclassed, and he's tried the body early. So too Jacobs there with quick and neat combinations. He fights in bursts. He's very clever, and he can be a ring general as well, Jacobs.
And he got through with a jab just before that fluid. It didn't really get through with anything, but
he switched for the first time to southpaw, as we thought he would, back and forth to try and befuddle and confuse Alvarez.
a short little combo on the gloves of Alvarez, finishing with a left hook. Did it slip through? I'm not sure, but the jab he's landed, and this work now with getting himself in range to put it together. Good start.
Cinnamon Kid, Canelo, Sal Alvarez, with those 51 victories. Just a one defeat to Floyd Mayweather, a couple of draws, the 24 rounds he did with Gennady Golovkin, and Danny Jacobs did 12 rounds with Golovkin. Did have a flash knockdown in that, but extended Triple G, and many observers felt Jacobs was hard done by that night. Has he performed quite as well since in the more marking time fights, or did he need this huge challenge as he gets here in Vegas tonight?
Maybe he's not been put under the pressure that he needs to be under mentally, and certainly not physically in the fight with his last couple since the Triple G fight, but this certainly should bring the best out of him. The whole preparation has been geared towards a fighter that he knows is a superstar, and a superstar for a good reason. So I'm expecting the best of Jacobs, even at 32.
Jab to the body from Alvarez. Has he got the added speed and the freshness on Jacobs? Good work there from the Mexican.
There's a nice jab there getting through from Canelo. He just seems to, I don't know, he seems to have that sort of control where he's in front of Jacobs, he's able to back him up, and anything Jacobs comes with, he's able to block with that solid defence. Just constantly got Jacobs on his back foot.
Yeah, just missing there, Jacobs. Trying the inside work early to try and rip him in. Alvarez. Jacobs behind that jab. That's sensible. But look at that from Alvarez. The right hand partially blocked. That body shot got through, and Jacobs just felt it slightly in an uppercut as well through the middle. Looking strong and solid and speedy.
Yeah, he just looks so strong, Canelo, as he backs up Jacobs there and puts some shots together. Looks like when them shots land even on the arms, they force Jacobs back.
Good work from Jacobs with a combination. His family and supporters are alongside us to the left. It can hardly be heard amongst the Mexicans that are packed in here, and we'll be watching all up and down the strip on Cinco de Mayo weekend.
He can't afford to make a mistake, Jacobs, because you can just see that Canelo, that right hook that just whizzed over the top of Jacobs' head, that's what's waiting for him. He needs to maintain focus every second of every round.
The clapperboard to end the second round. Fascinating, intriguing as we felt it would be. Look at that from Alvarez. The lovely jab. Jacobs reacts, but the Miracle Man from Brooklyn. Such a popular figure. Such a great talker, such a great fighter, such a great story. But has Canelo Alvarez asserted himself quickly, and from a Mexican point of view, encouragingly on this fight so far? Just looking at your scorecard, you gave Jacobs the first round, Carl.
There was absolutely nothing in it, but I liked a couple of jabs he landed. I didn't see anything land clean from Canelo.
For me, Canelo has won both. Dave Caldwell.
Yeah, I've got Canelo winning both rounds so far. I like what he's doing. He's stalking, he's got a tight defence, and even when Jacobs is firing, his upper body movement's been very, very good. He's been throwing the left up high. He's known for the left up to the body, but he's been throwing the left up high. He's setting him up. So later on in the fight, he's going to start dropping that left up downwards.
Crunching shot on the inside. And he's elected to stay southpaw here, Jacobs. And these body punches. And it's the electric pace of Alvarez, who looks tight and in burst. Looks quite superb. Jacobs tries to fend him off with the jab and defence, but looks to try and back up Alvarez, doesn't he?
He does, yes, but it's just evident immediately that Canelo is just bigger and stronger. And I have to retract what I said in the build-up because I didn't think the size. You know, he's taller, he's rangier, he's been at middleweight longer, but Canelo's just so solid and so strong. He's able to just walk forward at will. And it's just almost like he's able to do he's not doing what he wants, but he's comfortable with the strength, the power in his punch, that he's able to just constantly just bring his feet forward and just back up Canelo. So the pressure's all on Canelo here, but he's boxing well on his back foot. He's looking for the counter. It's just the strength and the presence of Canelo. It really is a beast.
It's a combination of punching ready from Jacobs about 30 seconds or so ago. Alvarez continues to hunt the body. Get that jab through as well. Good from Jacobs. Quick hands there. Nice burst. This is what he can do. Get in and out of the pocket. Impressive.
Yeah, that was better. He was able to get through the guard as well of Canelo. He's looking, when he gets in range now, he's looking for that big shot. Got to be careful not to overload it.
And Jacobs walks into a left hand and already a slight mark under that right eye for the New Yorker.
Stop.
Tit for tat in the third. The high-class duel that we expected. Jacobs out of range though at the end, and that one, Jacobs guided by Eddie Hearn at Matchroom. Did a good relationship in the last year and a half, and now he's got the big fight delivered. Alvarez with a fast start to the fourth round in the white and gold with the knee brace on the left knee, had surgery on the right knee, and he just felt he needed that on the left because of balance, and that was part of the strategy.
Good defence from Jacobs. He's able to kind of sit in range, just backing up. He's not running and leaping out of the way. Nicely tightly behind that shoulder as Canelo backs him up, and he keeps that right glove up tucked into his chin, ready for Alvarez's left hook. But he's being pushed back, and he's on his back foot constantly, really getting anything going himself, Jacobs. Trying, but good movement from Canelo.
Yeah,
quality work there.
Terrific movement from Alvarez, who comes springing back, cat-like reflexes. Is he the man in his prime? And is Jacobs just slightly past it? That's a question that people have been debating this week.
I think there's an argument that is correct, a correct statement. I mean, Canelo 28 years old, Jacobs 32. You know, when you get into your 30s, you slow down physically. Mentally, you're mature.
Okay, no. Watch it. This is
Tony Weeks
Listen to me,
gonna-
though. Listen to me. Here we go.
Sort that out. Roughhouse tactics round the back of the head. Canelo again leaps in with the left hook.
Yeah, tit for tat there with the back of the head. Canelo just seems to be in control on his front foot, just ever so slightly.
And listen to the vociferous crowd as well as Jacobs gets a good jab in.
Nice jab, nicely timed jab as well as Canelo leaps forward. Jacobs is able to land a little counter, that left-hander sneaky shot.
You don't see Jacobs missing so much normally, do you, Dave?
No, but this is what's very underrated about Canelo over the last couple of years. His defence is very, very good. His upper torso movement is becoming much more improved. But tonight, his jab is on fire. He's mixing up between the head, the chest, the body. His jab's really unsettling Jacobs, and that's opening up his power shot.
Yeah, exactly. On cue, just what you said. Alvarez delivers. A bit stuck in the mud at the moment. Jacobs comes back with a right hand, but Alvarez is away and his defence has improved over the years. It really has become the full package.
Yeah, the head movement's great from Alvarez. He's just slipping and sliding and making Jacobs miss.
And that's expending energy, isn't it? 4 gone. What a fight in front of us. Alvarez and Jacobs. How have you got it so far, Carl?
I've got it 39-38 to Canelo.
And Dave, everything to Canelo?
Everything to Canelo. I think he's on fire. I think he's boxing a perfect fight.
Misplaced possum there, bit of kidology from Canelo Alvarez, who started way back in 2005, 3 months after his 15th birthday. It's been incredible, in with the likes of Shane Mosley, Mayweather, James Kirkland, Cotto, Amir Khan, of course, Golovkin a couple of times, Liam Smith, Rocky Fielding, plenty of Brits know quite how good he is.
Yeah, the experience, when you go through the names, the amount of fights he's had, it's no wonder he looks so accomplished, so solid and confident. And he's just backing up Jacobs, and the head movement from Canelo is making it so difficult for Jacobs to get that long jab, that boxing ability that he's got. He's not able to really get it going because the head movement just slipping and sliding, and then he just pounced into action. He looks so solid, Canelo.
He's almost outboxing the master boxer here, Canelo Alvarez. Danny Jacobs, a two-time middleweight champion, of course, and coming off those 3 victories over Luis Arias, Maciej Zalewski, Sergei Devianchenko, to regain the belt that he won against Jared Fletcher in New York many years ago. Alvarez again with a body shot. He looks so strong and confident and composed in there.
He is very strong, and you can hear the punches landing, and you can see the effects they have, even when they land on the arms and the gloves of Jacobs. They're just knocking back, and you can see him thinking about everything coming back to him, because he knows if one of them shots lands, it's going to be devastating. And Jacobs' jab doesn't look really that solid. He's not really putting anything together. I mean, the jab there got through, snapped the head back of Alvarez, but it's not happening enough.
Jacobs, Alvarez wants to clean up and unify the middleweight division. He wants Demetrius Andrade as well. Gennady Golovkin at ringside wants the winner. If Alvarez loses, there is an automatic rematch. Daniel Jacobs said he has the intelligence to win the day here in the battle. Standing firm, trying to get a simple combination going. And still moving well. Neither hurt really so far. So although Alvarez has had the success in probably most of these rounds, Jacobs still very much in this.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, it's very close, but Canelo in charge, but he's not dominating. Jacobs needs to get
to win the day here in the battle. Standing firm, trying to get a simple combination going. And still moving well. Neither hurt really so far. So although Alvarez has had the success in probably most of these rounds, Jacobs still very much in this.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, it's very close, but Canelo in charge, but he's not dominating. Jacobs needs to get combination punches going. Just needs to put 3 or 4 shots together and then get back behind his jab and not move in straight lines. Canelo is going to be in front of him all night. If he doesn't meet him as he comes to throw combos, good head movement from Canelo. I mean, Jacobs had a go there, tried to put some shots together, landed with a couple of cuffing shots, missed with everything else. It's just brilliant from Canelo at the minute.
Juan Manuel Marquez putting his thumb up at Canelo's performance. Dan Rayfield just behind us scored everything so far to Canelo as Jacobs goes back to his southpaw stance, but a right hand from Alvarez, timing it. He sparred and prepared diligently for both styles here, Alvarez, Dave.
You can tell that he's prepared every way that Jacobs may give him. But the problem is that Jacobs has to land something significant to change the course of his fight, because it's one-way traffic right now. And all you can see is as Jacobs starts slowing down, his reflexes start dulling himself, he's going to take more and more punishment.
Tries to drive a southpaw backhand and left through the middle of Alvarez. He's always had a fantastic chin. And the right to the body as well. Attempting to slow down Jacobs again. He's got a bit of a spring to his step. Trying to utilise the whole ring and move.
Stop, no. There you go. Turn around.
Yeah, you get the feeling from what you're seeing that Jacobs can't really hurt Canelo with one punch. And that's a problem for him. So what he needs to do is Land combination punches. But Canelo's so clever with a cat in range now. Canelo landing a short uppercut there. Just stumbled back Jacobs as he moves away.
Jacobs for a couple of good body shots. Didn't seem to have any effect, and back Alvarez comes with the rapid fire counters. It's better from Jacobs this. It's big to happen now, but there's not really any evidence.
Yeah, he's getting backed up and pushed around now by Canelo as he lands heavy shots, pushing Jacobs back. I mean, nothing landed real clean there, but he was able to show his physical strength and the punching power. Good head movement from Canelo on the back foot. Neither fighter really able to land anything clean throughout the duration of this first half of the fight, other than the jab. But you just feel that the work that Canelo's doing and some of the accuracy, even if it is arms and gloves and side of the head and popping shots, it's all coming from Canelo.
I have to disagree with that. I was going to say, I think Canelo's landed a lot of meaty shots here. His body work's been great. He's been landing headshots. His jab's been awesome. The one shot he's been landing a lot that's very underrated is the straight right hand to the bottom. You know, he's taking a lot out of Jacobs here. Yep. I think it's Jacobs that's struggling to land on Canelo because Canelo's defense has been brilliant.
He is struggling. I don't think there's anything really clean though. There's no oohs and ahs in this arena, and there's a lot of fans for Canelo. Big shot there from Jacobs, nice left cross, but Canelo able to just shrug it off.
But the execution of some of this work from Alvarez to the body particularly has been mightily impressive. Here comes Jacobs though, trying to rip it up and change things and apply the pressure and maybe use that physical strength, much the bigger guy in there, and to change the pattern of this.
He knows he's got to try and change the pattern. He's going to have to try something, and if when Canelo sits on the ropes, if that means throwing 5 or 6 punches around the body, arms and head, and just land, take what you can, just hit what's there, at least he's getting some kind of success, because at the minute it does look like one-way traffic from Canelo.
One thing we do know about Canelo in the past, he has faded as the rounds go on, and maybe this is a ploy from Jacobs. You know, he's rode out the rough patch in the first half of the fight, and maybe he'll be looking to make Canelo work in the second half of the fight, working when he doesn't want to work.
Would be a sly tactic that from Jacobs. Whether or not he can implement that, and if Canelo does slow down, we'll wait to see it, but he just looks so strong and so solid.
Lightning fast left hand as well from Alvarez. Had a last couple of rounds from Jacobs, and now he nods at him and says, okay then, come on, let's have a fight. And he fancies it. For you, apart from the last round maybe to Jacobs?
Yeah, the last round I give to Jacobs.
What about you, Cole?
I'd give Jacobs 2 rounds, the first and the last. Nothing in the first really, let's be honest, but I like the double jab he landed. I liked the little combination he put together, but could have gone either way that round. There's virtually nothing in it. But I give round 3 even. There's nothing there, couldn't separate them. Is it a turning point now for Jacobs? I mean, that was a good last round, certainly his best in the contest, and went to the second half of the fight now, so if he can build on that.
Edging towards the championship rounds. They're both so used to these distances now. Experts, but against each other at the highest echelons of world boxing. Jacobs again trying to double up the jab. Alvarez, who's been in control for the large majority of this, showing versatility, really good defense and speedy shots. That was excellently blocked there from Alvarez.
Yeah, quality block, counter. Back came Jacobs, but just wasn't enough. This is the stage of the fight now where both fighters, you can see, they're holding their feet, they're slowing down in terms of movement of the legs, and they're just a bit flat-footed in front of each other. The normal process of pro boxing to slow down after round 6-7 because it's hard in there, but this is where we're going to start to see a bit more action now. But the strength of Canelo just looks to be dominating. Jacobs needs to put together speedy combinations to have any kind of success, because the defense and head movement of Canelo is just so good.
Trying to apply the pressure. Good counter from Alvarez with his back to the ropes. But Jacobs really trying to let his fist fly now.
This is good from Jacobs, with Canelo back onto the rope. Nothing real clean landing, but...
Yeah, the defence from Alvarez, excellent though. And back he comes. And here, the crowd start to really live this fight. Pockets of fire that we hope for. And Alvarez now with a combination. And a really exciting 8th round here in this super fight.
Yeah, good work from Canelo there, just getting through. Jacobs just getting a bit sloppy there as he stood in front of Canelo. You can't stand there and be ponderous. You have to be concentrating and looking at every counter. And Canelo was able to get through with a couple of shots there.
Uppercut working nicely. Back Jacobs comes with his own combinations, but not quite as much meat in them. As both of these warriors stand in the middle of the ring and engage. This is what we want to see.
Yeah, this is good work now, back and forth between both men. Jacobs for the first time able to push Canelo back, meet him in the middle and push him back.
These last couple of rounds, we've noticed that Jacobs is now making Canelo have to work when he doesn't want to work. And you see the last round there, he started to lose his shape a little bit. Yes, his defense was really good in the main, but a few times when he's answering back, rather than being crisp and precise like he normally is and fluid, it was a little bit...
Alvarez, question that stamina. Boxing from the southpaw stance again. Jacobs, or was Alvarez having a round off? This is what ticks in the minds of these elite fighters, Carl.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't know what they're thinking, but they've got a plan. And they're trying to implement a game plan, listen to the corner, and they can feel any kind of success. I think the success there of Jacobs was good, but it only came at the end of the round, and it came a bit too late because Canelo was also landing counters. But this is the kind of pattern that Jacobs needs to get himself back into this fight.
Lovely left hand from Jacobs. Certainly having more success now in this period of the fight. Alvarez seeks up the uppercut, not quite the accuracy and fluidity that he had in the earlier rounds. And they both exchange leather there. You can feel the power at ringside, can't you?
Yeah, they've stood in, you can hear the shots when they land. Nice little cheeky left hook from Canelo as Jacobs just leaned forward. Nothing landing too menacing, but just them little cuffing shots.
Slightly low from Alvarez, these teeth-tough warriors. Mary extends his jab, Alvarez, and we felt that Jacobs would do more of that, certainly in the first half of the fight.
Nice cheeky little lead right hand from Canelo as he came forward, trying it again there. This is the stage now where Jacobs, if he's going to build on the bit of success he's had in the last couple of rounds, he needs to press it home, but good work from Canelo.
Excellent from Canelo Alvarez there. Beautifully timed shots. And Jacobs comes back, but not a thing apart from that one, which is a lovely left hand, which bounces off the chin of Alvarez, who needed all his sturdiness there.
Just getting sloppy there, Canelo, and he soaked up a big hook. Took it well, but that certainly shook him to his boots.
The Jacobs family on their feet alongside us. A power punch there in the 9th round, and a reminder that this is far from done. An uppercut from Jacobs too. Canelo Alvarez, if you need the description in the white and gold, I'm sure you don't, in these green gloves that he's picked. The part of the Mexican colour, Cinco de Mayo. And Daniel Jacobs, who's got right back into this over the last few rounds. He seemed to have woken up, but Canelo was brilliant, wasn't he, in the first few?
Yeah, he really was solid, backing up Jacobs. Anything that came his way, he blocked or split. And now he's loading up slightly, and Jacobs is able to just put together the odd combination. And if this carries on,
body shots and a lovely combination there from Jacobs, and maybe the extra weight is now helping him rather than slowing him down. Physically, he looks powerful. Back comes Alvarez, and here we go again.
And straight away back comes Jacobs. I mean, if Jacobs can sustain any kind of combination punching, And Canelo, because he's put his foot off the gas, Canelo, he seems to be breathing a bit, he's standing still. Dave Caldwell mentioned earlier, he does fade as he goes on into the rounds, as he gets towards the championship rounds, he does slow down ever so slightly, and that could be the difference here.
Jacobs getting his jab going. Alvarez looking for the big left hand. Decent defense from Jacobs. The Mexican fires up, get back behind Alvarez, but Jacobs with the combination. And he really is improved in this fight. And he's showing us what he's all about. Danny Jacobs, the miracle man. The Brownsville boy who has shocked everybody in what he's done in life. Can he shock the world in these last 2.5 rounds?
Well, he's able to sit in range now in front of Canelo without worrying about what's hurting him or hitting him. And he's able to fire straight back. And this sort of work right here will be winning him the round if Canelo doesn't put a combination to answer, because Jacobs is firing back.
Alvarez falls in for the first time, as if he just wants to take a little gap, a little respite. Great body shot from Jacobs. This is really good work from the American.
The last thing Alvarez wants to do now is giving Jacobs any confidence, because his corner men have given him a real G up. He knows he's had some success in that last round as well. This is closing up this gap. This fight's getting more and more interesting.
Is it fast becoming a championship fight of two halves here? Alvarez still having the bits of success, but Jacobs suddenly looks more mobile and more powerful. And who wants this more? They both do, don't they?
Yeah, I think they both know how serious this is.
And there he is, waiting for the winner. He's back against Steve Rolls on June the 8th at the Garden. But if a mega match can be made, I'm sure everybody will be delighted. These three middleweight greats. Who is the best? It's a matter of opinion. It's a bit like AJ, Wilder, Fury at heavyweight. But these guys are all fighting each other. You've got Alvarez by a single point. And Dave?
I've got it 6-4 to Alvarez now. Danny Jacobs really brought himself back into this fight.
Last 6 minutes. Jacobs looking strong and solid as he delivers the body shots, and less coming from Alvarez. Is he feeling it, the pace?
He's definitely feeling the pace. He's solid and strong early on, and although it looks effortless, that takes a lot of energy. But Jacobs, he needs to get going on and build on what he's started in the last couple of rounds, because he can't sit there looking at Canelo. He's getting caught.
Good single right hand from Alvarez. This is better, back behind the jab. A cluster from Jacobs, but not really getting through. Eddie Hearn at ringside, beckoning Danny Jacobs to really apply the heat. He must be worried about the judges in Vegas.
If it's close, you do wonder. I mean, Canelo's the superstar. If it's close, probably give him the round. Whether that's fair or not is close, subjective. But Jacobs, to make sure, he just needs to be busier at this stage. In the last 2 rounds now, if he's got any energy left, which he looks okay, he needs to work. He needs to just leave it in there. Let the shots go.
Good defense from Jacobs, but that one got through from Alvarez, who's picked himself back up in the 11th. Here comes Jacobs again, but sporadic.
There's not much in this round. It's there for the taking. I've got a feeling Jacobs has just got rid of the clock for 2 minutes. And now he's having a look, he's closing that distance. He needs to start working now, but Canelo, very clever, landing the odd right hand, cheeky jab.
I think the better quality of shots in this round have come from Alvarez so far. Jacobs still pressing forward. Some block there. Will this be catching the eye of the judges? Relentless work rate, which we've seen from Jacobs on the increase through the back half of this fight.
Certainly busier from Jacobs, but they're both feeling the pace. You can see that Jacobs is feeling the pace there, Dave.
I think Jacobs has picked up his work in the last minute. For the first 2 minutes though, it was too quiet. He needs to get a grip of the fight and really go for it. I think that was his plan.
I think he did that on purpose, but it can be dangerous because he will just lose the round. He throw it away.
Good right hands from Alvarez. And he just nods there as he pulled another one. Alvarez here when Jacobs seemed to be gathering momentum. Very tight, only pockets of fire, but high-class boxing as expected. And here we go into the 12th and final round. And will they all be put on the line here? Alvarez with a fast start. He looked terrific for many rounds at the beginning of the fight. Jacobs back with a really terrific effort and that eye-catching left hand as well. Alvarez showing a good chin. A slip there from Jacobs, who falls quite awkwardly. He says he's wet, and Tony Weeks is going to get a towel, I think, and clear it up.
Yes. Here we go. Time in. Let's go.
Just caught the eye of Juan Manuel Marquez. He's got it very close. I think, you know, that's the general feeling, Carl. That depends how many of those first 6 you gave to Alvarez. If you gave 4 of them or 5 of them, and Jacobs won the middle rounds.
We've been talking about Canelo and Triple G, and obviously we've got Canelo Alvarez in there, Triple G's at present, and there's been draws and tight decisions and arguable decisions between all 3 of them. There's really nothing to separate them. They really are that good and that evenly matched.
That's a good point. Jacobs now back to orthodox, backing up Alvarez. The left hook was classy from Canelo, and a combination there. Last minute and a half.
Stop.
Good work from both. I think Jacobs started that argument. He seemed to just finish it, but Canelo had his fair share of success in that exchange. There's nothing in this round. Both fighters tiring, both slowing down, understandably, but just tight one to score.
But whatever happens, like with Canelo and Golovkin, like with Golovkin and Jacobs, they could do this all over again, these two. I think you're right, the 3 of them, fine margins.
It was a well-timed uppercut there from Canelo as Jacobs came forward.
I like the work of Canelo in this last round. I think the quality of the work has been really, really good. He's landed some really good eye-catching shots. The technique on the delivery, I like the work he's putting in.
I agree with that, but the work rate is from Jacobs. The busier shots, the combinations. That's what you like.
Right hand from Alvarez, and has that added quality with a beautiful uppercut that's come back in the latter part of this fight. That was there for the first half. Is that going to be enough to seal the victory here? Jacobs with a body shot, but is he running out of time? Looks in his corner. You know they're both going to embrace. They're both going to celebrate.
Last 20 seconds of the fight, Jacobs knows to look to his corner. He's looking to work now to try and get this round in the bag.
Alvarez, though, has finished well, and he started so brilliantly. Last few seconds. What's the reaction going to be for the pair of them? It is mutual respect.
There's my card there. We've got Jacobs taking the lads round. There's
a lot of those clean shots did get through from Alvarez, especially with the jab and that lovely right hand to the body.
Yeah, I thought the quality of his work was fantastic, and especially for the first half of the fight. I did say I worry about Canelo because he always seems to tire as we go on in the rounds. And again today he's tired. And his work rate's dropped, and it allowed Jacobs to get a foothold in the fight. It allowed Jacobs to get confident.
Yeah, definitely. That is what happened as well. I mean, I think you'll be surprised when you see the CompuBox stats if we get to see them.
Yeah, but CompuBox stats, I don't believe in CompuBox stats. It's some geezer stood in a van just pressing buttons.
But it told you the work rate, and Jacobs' work rate was there. He was putting the shots together, and the judges do like that. Don't get me wrong. I think anything that's close is going to favour Canelo, because Canelo's the star, whether you like it or not. That can be the influence in tight rounds. But, you know, if you've got to pick a winner, I think you've got to go with Canelo.
Juan Manuel Marquez just behind me has got it to Jacobs by a round.
Go to the scorecards. The winner will be the unified WBA, WBC, and IBF champion. Dave Moretti and Steve Weisfeld both have it 115, 113. Glenn Feldman scores it 116 to 112. All 3 scores go to the winner by unanimous decision. Damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Now the unified middle champion of the world.